What is up, plant community? If you like my videos, if you like my content, go ahead and give me a like, share, and subscribe. It helps me and it really helps the channel out. So that way I can teach people more things about, well, plants. So I'll start off with why there is less things out here. And why I haven't posted in a while. They were redoing the roofing out here, as you can maybe see by the gutter up there that isn't attached. Yeah, they were redoing the roofing, so I wasn't able to make no videos. So today I'm gonna be doing a video. Finally able to do a video. So I got this hibiscus. It is a braided hibiscus. I think it's a orange and white flower hibiscus. You can see it's lost. Oh, well, there's a flower stem. All of its flowers. I was originally wanting a braid bigger than this, but this was all they had. And you know what? That's fine with me. That actually does not look too bad at all. It is starting to leaf out again, but it's leafing out in all the wrong directions. Not really wrong directions per se. There's just a lot of work that needs to be done on this tree. Starting with the soil dries out way too quickly for it. I got it from Walmart, and I'm gonna turn this tree into a bonsai, a beautiful bonsai. I got a pot. I'm kind of breaking some rules here because the way I want this tree to look versus how it should look in a bonsai pot is I want it to kind of look like a garden tree in a way. Because of the braid. So I was thinking, we could give it that look. Why not? I mean, sure, I'll be breaking a few bonsai rules, but you know what? Sometimes being an artist in your own right means you gotta break a few rules in order to make something look great. So this is what I'm going to be doing. I already have my soil pre-made here. And then I got all my tools right here. So we'll start the pruning. Just to get it in shape. So if I'm looking on the bottom, got a branch right there. Too low. Don't like it. Gonna take my scissors. Let me switch my hands real quick with the camera. Okay. Okay, right there's how I'm gonna get in there and get that branch. Gotta get in there and gonna need my more finer pruners here. Well, that's great. I'll have to pick that up later. Wasn't expecting that just to fly like that, but guess I should have knew. There we go. And hopefully if I keep maintenance on that, keep pruning it, it'll just eventually die off. So we got that off, and there is a few yellow leaves. Personally, I think it's because of the soil and fertilizer. There's just probably not enough fertilizer in here for it. All right. So, and the goal is I want it to look kind of natural too, eventually. All right. Get my scissors here. So, we have a branch right here. We have an area where potential budding could happen. This branch is kind of parallel with this one here. We'll prune it back leave some room for dieback. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. This one, we'll worry about that branch later. Let's see what we truly got going on here. So we got this branch right here. Maybe we could prune back to there. So that's pruned up. Back to there. Again, we got some more parallel branches. Got to decide which one do I want here. Well, maybe if I just snip this back like that, we can get some branching from right there. Then this guy completely over here. It's just, this branch right here is just long. Just really long. There's no taper. Let's snip him back to there. And there is sometimes buds on the stems you can trim too, so let's really study this one here. Oh, not really a whole lot going on there. We'll just snip him back to there. See what happens. No, we got a crisscross branch. Take that one completely out. Don't need a crisscross branch. These will root from cuttings, but I don't really need cuttings. Got a whole lot of trees the way it is. This, we got a branch right here that's shooting straight up, interfering with this one. We'll snip him right there. Has a new little bud there. It's kind of like hibiscus or kind of like ficuses. You can trim back to a leaf, and that's where a potential new branch can be. Okay, let's look more at the structure here. Okay. Now we kind of got some issues. Let's see here, look in here. We got this branch going parallel with this branch right here. I could decide which one do I want to keep. Well, what I can do is I could prune this guy back kind of severely. Looks like there's a dormant bud back there. You guys can't really see that. So I might prune this back a bit harder. So I'll get my maybe go place you guys down for a minute. I'm gonna get my big old gloppers here if I can unlock them. These are always so difficult to unlock. Okay, we'll take it back even further. I'll see what's going on. Still got these parallel branches here. I gotta think, I don't want too big of a Y shape, so I'll take this one completely out. If I can get in here. That's the key first. Is getting in here, which is, there we go, and gone. Get in here. Try to get in here. Okay, I'll be right back. This is going to be difficult. Need two hands. Okay, so I winded up getting that cut out of there. Looks a lot better now with just the two branching. Now again we got some. Sorry about that. He just kind of really came out of nowhere on that one. So got this middle branch, which is kind of competing with this one. So what I say we can do here is we can reduce. I don't really see no. There's a little leaf right there. We'll reduce him to right here. That should kind of help. Because right now I'm not really wanting to reduce it much. I want it to really gain its health this year. Like this branch here. We could prune to right there. Let it bud from right there. Here we got another branch. Long, kind of with no taper. Prune it right there. Get this leaf out of here. You know, that's a funny thing I've noticed about my tropical bonsai collection is I've got a whole lot of trees, but I have yet to have a hibiscus in my collection. I was like, you know, it's kind of shameful in a way, ain't it? I mean, not really shameful, but it's like, why don't I have one in my collection? Like, I'll leave this branch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's not even 6 leaves there. I'll leave that one. But it was like, you know, I have every other tree but a good flowering tree. Originally, I wanted one bigger because, like I said, it has bigger flowers on it. But this will have to surpass. What am I wanting to do with this one here? So, So there's this one too that I have to, as I'm looking here, there's this one too that I have to get this first, get this dead leaf stem off. Well, flower stem. Trying to think, how do I want this one to grow? I mean, I want it to grow upright either way. So we'll just, I guess, pinch the tip here, see what happens. Like that. This guy, I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to keep him or not. Because, I mean, he's a nice looking branch, but we'll prune him back. See, again, I don't like that, because now he's kind of still competing with this branch. Maybe I can get him to come out here, prune him back a bit harder, I guess. Seems to be a bit better there. Then we got branching from right here. We'll keep that one as our main leader, but we'll reduce him here, keeping him as the leader. So that way something will form here too. I don't really worry about the flowers because honestly the flowers only last like a day on these trees. Even if you have like cold hardy ones in your garden, they only last a day. Then they lose those. Sorry, loud truck. It's spring, man. Everybody's gonna have loud vehicles. Anyways, yeah, it's getting around that time of year where it's just gonna be flowering profusely, and honestly, it's just gonna flower, drop its stems like it's already doing, and then there's gonna be some buds in there, and those buds will produce more branches, and then it will flower again. And then when it drops its flowers, it'll produce more branches. Get that yellow leaf out there. Doesn't need to be in there. Ain't doing nothing productive for the tree. We'll get that leaf out of there too. It's kind of cluttering up the design here. Go on. Now I'm debating, should I keep this hanging leaf? You know what, for now, I think that hanging leaf is quite alright. Who knows, maybe something will develop there. I don't want to take too much foliage off. Not right now anyways, it's already been through a lot. So, tools aside, the amount of foliage I've taken off here, not too much. I'm sure as it develops, man, sometimes it's just difficult being next by the highway, literally living on the outskirts of town. Lots of traffic. Anyways, yeah, I think this is good for now, keeping the health of the tree in mind. Alright, with that being said, it's now time for the root prune, so we'll just kind of sweep these on the ground for now, and we'll start with the root pruning process. I'll be right back with that. Alright, I'm back. Looking good so far. I see maybe a few things I could do. Like maybe I could prune this back to right here, but then that could come out more like that. I'll do that real quick. Come in here, and I'm just really trying to be kind of conservative with this tree. I don't want to, because the health, it has a few yellow leaves. I don't want it to be too bad on its health. I want it to develop into a beautiful tree. It looks like it's in a Victorian pot, basically, from the Victorian era. Alright, so we'll take this out. Highland Blooms, Hibiscus Braid. And no, I am not sponsored by them or anything like that. Alright. Get some of my tools over here where they are not going to harm me in any manner. Safety first. Alright. Time to see what the roots look like on this. Oh, man. It was really in there. Alright. Quite a bit of roots. See some of these green little bulbs in here. These green little bulbs right here are just fertilizer. Has to be slow release. Let's look at. Soil seems to be, it was doing better on the bottom. That was holding moisture on top. Time to do the raking, see how deeply they planted these. Usually, when they have them in this type of bark-like mixture, they usually came from a real tropical region anyways, or even someplace like Florida, where it's kind of like Indiana, for example, during the summertime, where it's so humid you don't have to worry about soil that keeps a lot of moisture. Of course, I go ahead and do it because with the environment, we kind of go into a drought anymore into the middle of summer. So I keep soil that holds a little bit more moisture for my tropicals. Alright, let's start raking this away. But yeah, so a time like this, they just basically consider these more of a nursery stock, kind of like a normal tree than anything. So, but for us, more up here on north, out here at the north, more like places in Indiana, Chicago, places like that, these are just not a normal everyday tree. Okay, so you can see it was planted quite deeply, of course. Something to be expected here. Kinda. I mean, the soil was really piled up on this, and you guys seen that, so, of course, that was to be expected. There we go, getting into some of that fertilizer now. And I'll use my slow release fertilizer. My slow release lasts up to 6 months. So it'll last a whole year here in Indiana, which is good for me because I don't have to worry about fertilizing. I'll just have to worry about fertilizing again in the summer. Trying to really, man, it was really rooting in there, trying to get some of these roots out, which is proving kind of difficult here. Because you want to rake them in a radial pattern. That's kind of proven to be a bit difficult, but it's alright. I got all day, I got patience, I got this. I mean, you have to have patience if you're in bonsai. Tree could die back and then all of a sudden be like, I'm not dead. Don't get mad at it though, just be thankful you still got it. I thought I almost lost my Ficus oh so little leaf. Or Ficus little leaf as we call them just here in Indiana. Kind of call things differently here, it's kind of weird. Like your quarterline Australis, we call it Dracena spikes. It's funny because when we start talking about it to people in Florida or other places like that, they're like, what? And then we show them the pictures, and it's like, that's not a Dracena species. It's like, well, that's the nickname we gave them because for some reason here we gave them that nickname because they reminded us of a Dracena, you know. We're up north, we deal with more plants that has to take the cold. We're not really used to seeing a whole lot of tropicals out in the garden. So whenever I'm out here and I'm gardening, I have all these big palm trees and these big exotic plants. It's exciting for people here because you don't really see that out here. So it's exciting whenever somebody has a big old palm tree or they've had a palm tree for years and it's just been growing and it has a stem. It gets, well, not really a stem, but a trunk is what I mean. It's exciting for people. Indiana gives us an interesting way of growing things. Sometimes, heck, we even lose our cold hardies. So we're supposed to be a zone 6, but sometimes we go right back to a zone 5. And it's funny because all these people in Florida are, well, whenever I message them, they tell me that, you could do this and that, and they research for me. It's like, well, there's an issue here. We kind of get weather patterns from everywhere here in Indiana. It's really unpredictable. One minute could be like California, only drop it down to the 60s, maybe 40s, and then all of a sudden it turns into Alaska. So, always interesting growing challenges. And then for my bonsais, I don't use grow lights. I like to see, honestly, if they can survive here as a tropical without any supplemented lighting. Kinda lets me know if things ever got warmer, what could actually survive out here and be just fine. I am tearing a lot of the roots away, kind of. You can see it here. And those are just weak roots. Just weak roots. That's all that comes down to. Roots that won't probably do me any... Oh, we got tangled root here. Anyways, as I was saying, roots that probably won't wind up be doing me any good anyways. This guy's going in a fairly small pot anyways, because like I said, I really wanted to have that Victorian look to it. Want it to look like an old Victorian tree. As you can see here, they did plant it quite deeply, so they were more likely started from cuttings, and those cuttings developed from there, which is alright. Got nothing against cuttings. Long as I got my tree, that's all I am truly worried about. Got some thick roots here that will be needing to be cut out, because in bonsai you're basically saying, hey, look, you don't need to be this big magnificent tree with these big old roots to survive anymore, because you're growing in my environment and you're growing in a potted environment where you'll be protected, and you don't need those big old bulbous roots like we're seeing right here. It just, the tree doesn't need those. It doesn't need those to survive anymore. It's going to be just fine living its life as a beautiful bonsai. Could do a little better with the braiding down here, but I'm guessing this is where it started as a cutting, and they just kind of potted it up deeper. I'm like, okay, we'll pot it up to here, so that way the braid looks decent to sell. Which, I'm not looking for perfect trees. No tree in nature is ever perfect. And you know what? That is the beauty of nature. Nothing in nature is ever beautiful. Nothing in nature is ever perfect. And what makes nature beautiful is it's not perfect. Just like us. We all have our flaws, we all have our differences, but at the end of the day, we're all beautiful in our own little ways, even if others can't see it. Alright. Still raking away here. Got quite a nice little root mass. For people who don't know, I was watching a whole documentary about trees, and it was quite an interesting documentary, if I say so myself. It was really talking about trees, deciduous trees, tropical trees, etc. And it's really interesting because come to find out, the part that we think is the butt of the tree is we think is the roots, right? Well, actually, each individual root hair and root is actually the head of the tree. The green part, the part we like, is the butt of the tree. I don't know, I just found it very interesting. It was a real interesting subject to me, so I got really into it, and it's really, really good. All right, so already we got to get the gloppers out. We've got a big old root. I'm sure you guys can see that. Right there on the bottom, that needs to be gone. It doesn't need that. We're trying to tell it, yeah, you don't need such a big root like that. See that? We don't need that. We don't need a big bulbous root. We will never need a big bulbous root on our bonsai trees. They don't need them. They don't need to anchor themselves in the soil like that. We got them for that. You know, we're telling them how to grow. And we're telling them, hey, you don't need to grow like that. Then we got an issue here. We got one root coming up. We'll need to take that away. Now, this root system will absolutely not look perfect at all. It'll be quite the opposite of a perfect root system. We got a bunch of roots that just curl up everywhere and things like that, which, like this one here, it's alright. We're just telling it, hey, you don't need to do that. You don't need to, you just don't need these big roots. So like this one here, we can take all the way back right there. Gone. It's gone. Look how weird that root was. It's gone though. It's gone now. Then we've got some inside the tree that just don't need to be growing like that. Gone. Now if I can find that root, there we go. Yeah, that one was growing very weirdly. Look at that. Yeah, you can see where it was originally cut for cuttings. Got some good little root hairs there, so we'll trim right there on that one. We got a root kind of growing in right here, kind of weirdly. We don't need to do that. We'll trim that right there. See how that one develops. That one is very weird. And we got some finer roots right there, so we'll be careful. We'll trim it back. See, you can see the finer roots right there. We don't need that big old root. Get my globbers here. Take you away. We don't need you. You're growing up weirdly. You're definitely growing weirdly. Take you away like that. You're growing too upright. So are you. A lot of these roots are growing very weirdly. Okay, well, I thought I had that one. That's my bad. There. For the most part, though, not a real bad root system. It just needs a bit of correcting, which I think can be done with bonsai soil for the most part. Smaller root pruners now, because we don't trim you right there. You're growing in and every wrong way here. So we'll prune you right there. Okay, sorry about that. I was hearing screaming and the little girl almost ran out in front of a vehicle. We'll prune you right there. Now, I'm not going to prune too harshly on this guy right away. I mean, it's his first time being trained to be a bonsai, so we'll just kind of rough prune a bit down here now. No reason to overdo it. We need enough roots for the tree to properly survive here. Alright, so got some crisscrossing roots I've noticed. Now we've got some fire roots up here, so we'll take you away. Alright, so we'll do that now. We'll need to do better working on the roots. I just don't want to... We'll snip you kind of right there. I just don't want to do too much on it. It's going to need a lot of roots, and right now it's all individual trunks. So I don't want to overdo it on the root pruning process here, because that'll kill my whole braid if I overdo the pruning on each individual trunk. Because again, it's still each individual trunk until it fuses together and makes one tree. So for now, it's just going to have to be good enough. So there's the roots. Not too bad, not too great. It'll just need to be worked on and developed on in the future. Be right back. Alright, I am back. You guys ready to see the pot that I chose? Not a proper bonsai pot by far, I know. But this is what I'm going to work with. And that is probably how I'm going to plant. Now, I'm thinking about planting this kind of deeply to keep it looking like a Victorian braid. But that looks good too, in a way. So, we'll add some of my bonsai soil in here, which I've already got some of it in there. Kind of made a lot, probably a little bit more than I needed. Kind of pile it up here. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. Right there. Alright, now I'm going to put all my soil in here. I'll be right back when I'm finished with that. Now, if anyone's ever wondering how I spread out my soil, I have a little miniature shovel I do it with. I just spread it around like that, getting it all evenly distributed for the tree here. All evenly distributed, just kind of patting it around like soil, like you would. Alright, I'll be back whenever I'm finished completely. Alright, I'm still not finished, but I figured I'd show this method too. This is what I use to kind of get the soil more in the roots. It's just one little chopstick, that's all I need. I'll get nicely in there and everything. Getting it nicely compact into the soil, but yet still allowing for enough aeration. Now, I don't have to use rocks for this soil once I get watered in to find out. It's actually kind of heavy, but not too heavy. So, yeah, soil, like I said, seems to really do me wonders for my trees. I'll be right back. Alright, it's all in there now. Now it's time to level the soil out and give it a good watering. So this will make sure that the tree is held down nicely once I get done watering here. And it'll even level itself out, which is good. That's what I want, is nice, even, level soil. Now, I know I broke a lot of rules today. It's not a traditional bonsai pot. Some would consider this like a semi-cascade. Man, language is hard today. A semi-cascade type of pot. But, nah, I just want something that kind of reminds me of the Victorian era here. And it already has a little drainage dish, so, you know, win-win for me. Just keep watering till it dries out. The thing I like about my soil mixture here is it holds moisture, but yet it allows for good aeration too. And it's really good for tropicals. For my deciduous trees, like my more cold hardies, that's a bit different. It's a bit different here on the watering. Now I will add moss eventually. You can see right there is like one little drainage hole. But I will add moss as soon as I can. And that moss will just spread. And when I do that, I'll eventually give you an update on all my bonsais. Now, I don't usually do bonsais often on this channel. I kind of try to do a bit of everything, but lately with everything that's been going on, bonsais has just kind of been the easiest to do. So I was like, why not? Oh, I found something out too. I can't keep all my trees there whenever it rains. The canopy, plus whenever it rains, it comes down so hard that my bonsais, in a polite term, got wrecked. I had to redo the landscapes on most of my trees and everything. It was upsetting. A lot of my trees was kind of uprooted. Luckily, it was wet enough still that they were A-okay, but I don't want to have to go through that again. Oh, and the soil does give good drainage. It's just I'm making sure I'm getting water down in there because it's a terracotta pot. So it might dry my soil out a bit quickly. Again, words are hard. I'm so sorry. I will add my slow release fertilizer into this too, which will help it with growth. So I might go ahead and do that real quick too. I'll do that actually after the video. I mean, it's nothing fancy. It's just a little slow release fertilizer. You can see what I use. There's a video on it. And I just go in there. I just kind of sprinkle it around the soil, and there you go. All right. So this is my hibiscus bonsai. It'll eventually look better, but for now, I think this looks pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you and have a great day.